Think of this. There was this one change that happened on the streets of India during COVID that most of us had ignored. Do you remember what it was? Less people? Nope. Less vehicles? Nope. Then what? During COVID, a lot of street vendors and pushcart people went missing from the streets. Due to policies of social distancing, they were picked out of the street. But did we ever think, how was their livelihood affected? What were the measures taken to restore their livelihood? So during and after COVID, the government launched a program to help these street vendors. So you remember in this season of Shark Tank, the sharks used to give debts to startups for them to grow. Over here also, we had a similar setup where the government provided aid in multiple tranches in the form of debt. Well, you see, India is basically divided into three parts: India 1, India 2, and India 3. India 1 represents the affluent urban population in India with high purchasing power, access to modern amenities, and a lifestyle comparable to that in the developed countries. India 2 refers to the emerging middle class in the urban and semi-urban areas, characterized by moderate but growing income, growing aspirations, and increasing access to technology and services. India 3 comprises the rural and low-income population with limited access to resources, infrastructure, and opportunities, often struggling with basic needs and services. Majority of the population in India lives in India 3, and this was the segment that was battered during COVID. And who were the people who got affected the most? People on the street. Street vendors and shop owners who depended a lot on their daily earnings had no support or opportunity for improvement. But then, there was some ray of hope in 2020. The government then launched the PM SVANidhi scheme to help street vendors and shop owners come out of the COVID shock. The PM Street Vendors AtmaNirbhar PM SVANidhi Yojana was launched by the Government of India in June 2020. It is a first of its kind initiative designed to provide financial assistance to the street vendors affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. This groundbreaking scheme was created with the vision to empower over 50 lakh street vendors by providing them with collateral-free working capital loans of up to 10,000 for a tenure of 1 year. What makes the PM SVANidhi unique is its inclusivity and direct focus on the informal sector, which has often been overlooked in the traditional financial schemes. Street vendors, who play a crucial role in the urban economies, were severely impacted by the pandemic, facing both loss of livelihood and reduced access to credit. The PM SVANidhi Yojana addresses these challenges by offering not just financial assistance, but also the opportunity for digital empowerment. The scheme's success lies in its simplicity, accessibility, and the government's commitment to fostering economic resilience of one of the most vulnerable sections of the society. As of 2024, the scheme has provided substantial support to street vendors across India, reinforcing the government's focus on inclusive growth and self-reliance. It provides loans in 3 tranches. First tranche of Rs 10,000, second tranche of Rs 20,000 subject to repayment of the first tranche, and third tranche of Rs 50,000 upon repayment of the second loan. It provided an interest subsidy of 7% per annum and had rewards up to 1,200 rupees a year. The government is providing initial funding in the form of debt to these street vendors who can use it to jumpstart their business and grow it further. The PM SVANidhi Yojana demonstrates the government's commitment to inclusive growth, ensuring that even the most vulnerable sectors of the society are supported during these challenging times. By focusing on the needs of the street vendors, the government is building a stronger, more resilient economy from ground up with benefits that extend far beyond individual recipients. This approach underscores the importance of creating opportunities for all citizens to thrive, which is essential for the sustained growth and development of the nation. But how is this scheme helping to improve the lives of street vendors in India? A total of 57.83 lakh vendors have benefited from the PM SVANidhi scheme, which was launched during COVID-19 pandemic to provide affordable loans to hawkers. Around 45% of women street vendors have received loans and 72% of the beneficiaries are from marginalized sections. A study that evaluated the impact of the scheme found that the first tranche of Rs 10,000 led to an annual income of Rs 24,460 for each beneficiary. According to the study, 94% of the beneficiaries who took the first loan of rupees 10,000 used it for business investments. For those who took the second loan, this figure rose to 98%. The first loan led to an additional income of rupees 1955 per month, totaling to rupees 23,460 over 1 year, which aligns with the typical returns of a small business globally. In the sample, the study found that 13.9% of all loans disbursed had been classified as non-performing assets, meaning no payments had been made for 3 months or more. The NPAs were the highest during COVID-19 pandemic and declined over time, with 9% of the loans disbursed in 22 turning into NPAs. The study also found that the debt-to-income ratio of the beneficiaries was lower than what was expected of small businesses, reflecting the high credit worthiness of all the vendors. Several individuals benefited a lot through this Yojana. Nilesh, a resident of Wardha, Maharashtra, received a loan of rupees 10,000, which was served as a catalyst for an inspiring entrepreneurial journey. He faced many initial challenges, but his unwavering determination and positive attitude helped her establish a thriving catering business. Not only has Nilesh established a catering business, but has also inspired others by forming the Mohini Bachat Gat, a self-help group where transgenders and women collaborate for financial empowerment. All said and done, the scheme is solving 4 groundbreaking problems within the society. Number 1. The scheme is creating employment opportunities in India. Employment should not only be looked at from the lens of jobs, but also from the perspective of entrepreneurship. The scheme is creating so many founders on a daily basis. Number 2. The scheme is solving for improving gender inequality in the country. A high percentage of the beneficiaries are women, and they are benefiting from the scheme as well as getting a boost to start their own business. Number 3. There is a big difference between distributing freebies and creating employment. Through this scheme, the government is solving for employment, where it is incentivizing the vendors to work and at the same time mandating it into a structure so it is not just another grant. Number 4. The scheme is solving the education gap with these vendors as well. To this, they are directly interacting with the banking system of the country, getting to know the different aspects of the banking system, thereby upskilling themselves as well. The scheme's impact extends beyond individual beneficiaries. By formalizing the street vendor sector, it contributes to urban development, improves hygiene standards, and enhances the overall quality of life in cities. As we look into the future, the PM SVANidhi scheme serves as a model for inclusive growth policies. It demonstrates how targeted interventions can create ripple effects, uplifting not just individuals, but entire communities and sectors of the economy. This is Samyak. See you in the next one.